Barbara Niven is one of Hollywood's busiest actresses, starring in TV and films for over 20 years. But behind the glamour, she was hiding a terrible secret that ruled her life and almost killed her. Now she shares her story with humor and gut-wrenching honesty, so we can all understand what this disease feels like. And if people need help, they'll get it.
Hi. Ooh. Okay. This is pretty scary for me to talk about because it's pretty humiliating, really. But I'm going to tell my story to you so that maybe you can take it and help yourself or somebody else. I'm going to tell you my secret. You don't even know me, and I'm going to talk about puking and vomit. Glamorous, huh? And I'm warning you, I'm going to be purging here right in front of you all over the stage. Don't worry. I'm not actually going to, you know, bleh. But although there is a toilet. Whew. This damn thing still gets me. This ruled my life for most of it. This was my God, my safe place, my secret shame, and my secret weapon. I spent 30 years with my head hanging over a toilet, trying desperately to be perfect. And the harder I tried to control myself and be perfect, the more out of control and panicked I got. It was like I was falling backwards into this black hole with nothing to hold on to. In fact, here's a purge. I actually had a ritual that I used to do when I was going to go throw up. I would stand in front of the toilet, lift the lid, move my foot over so I could touch the wall so it would kind of anchor me and I'd feel secure. And then I would lean over, stick my finger down my throat, and puke my guts up. And I'd do it over and over again until it hurt. And there was nothing left, and I was at zero. I didn't feel anything, no stress, nothing. And I made all sorts of pacts with myself that this would be the last time. Or please, God, just let me die now so I don't have to do this anymore. I'm going to read you a poem that I wrote during one of my blackest times. It's called Perfect, and it's here in your handout. I was 40 years old, and this was my life. I awaken, and oh God, it's still there. The panic. I cringe and lie still and do a quick once-over of my enemy, my body, my flesh. Am I fatter than yesterday? I can't be. I didn't eat. But God, I feel gross, ugly, out of control. I jump up, stare into the mirror, and I hate what I see. Eyes that stare back, and a face too round, a body too fleshy, too disgusting, too much, not perfect yet, never perfect. I look again at the woman in the mirror. She stares back, haunted. She is at war, and she is losing herself, her dreams, her truth. She stares, eyes empty, silent, screaming, pleading, hiding, knowing she could never rest, never stop trying, pushing, running, failing to be perfect. If you can identify with my story, or maybe know somebody who might be struggling with this, you have to speak up. We are screaming inside for help, and we don't know how to ask. And a lot of us are going to die because of that. We need a safe place to be able to tell our secrets. And we all have secrets, don't we? Yes. Some are silly, some are paralyzing, and some can kill us. People in this audience right now are struggling with eating disorders like I am, mental illness, credit card abuse, alcohol, drug addiction. And they're all symptoms of a bigger problem. And unless you recognize the triggers and the warning signs, you can't identify and help heal the real issues. The only way to get over an eating disorder is with a trained therapist. We can't do it ourselves, and you can't do it with a friend. And people who have eating disorders, I don't know if you've seen them on the web, but they have all these sites that keep you sick, you know, glorifying what we're saying in the media about that skinny is good, and you're not a good person unless you're a size 0. Well, 0 means you're disappearing. So when you go through therapy, you find out why you have this behavior, and then you learn new ways of dealing with the stress or whatever it is that's causing it, so you can plug something else in. I mean, sometimes I still have attacks about it. Recovery is not perfect, but I celebrate where I am, and I'm grateful for my miracles, and I start over the next day. It's progress, not perfection. So in your handouts, we've got some warning signs, and I want to go through some of them with you. And when you're noticing this, you're going to recognize probably yourself and half of America right now, men and women, because we're living in a culture that obsesses about being skinny. 5-year-old kids are saying, I'm fat, and that's crazy. So let's go down the list here and consider, do you know anybody who maybe has an obsession with calories?
Yeah.
What it looks like in the mirror, what size you are? When my mother was dying of cancer, and we were helping her die with hospice, I hit bottom. I mean, the stress was overwhelming. And I handled it the same way that I always did, by throwing it up into a toilet instead of talking about it, over and over again. And one day, my sister Shelley confronted me outside the bathroom door, and she said, I know what you did. Nobody had ever done that before. And I angrily denied it, and I hated her for it. And I told her I'd get help just to shut her up. But I didn't. I don't know if I ever would have, except for a scary phone call I got one day. It was my daughter Jessica's school saying she had just fainted at cheerleading practice. Turns out that her entire cheerleading squad had been practicing bulimia and anorexia to fit into their cute little cheerleading uniforms, and I didn't notice. How could I not notice that? That was my biggest fear come alive. So, the hardest thing I ever did was make a phone call to get help, because I knew now I didn't have to do it for me, but I had to do it for her. It had to stop now. So I looked in the yellow pages and found an eating disorder clinic close by, and I called several times and hung up quickly. I couldn't get the first words out. Because partly, once you say it, you got to do something about it. So finally I called again, and I did get one sentence out. And they took it from there. That's all I had to do. These people deal with this every day. They didn't think I was disgusting. And that was the biggest relief I think I've ever had, to give it over to somebody else. Being here in front of you right now and talking about this is a really important part of my recovery, so thank you. Because talking about it means I don't have to do it anymore. See, I wish I would have known that a long time ago, because somehow freeing myself up and not having this horrible secret that I'm hiding really means that I don't need to do it. I don't need to be perfect anymore. What a relief. I love myself now. When I gave up perfect, my whole life opened up. And that's the best thing that I can wish for you too, because we all deserve our most amazing life. What are you wasting time on that's really stupid when you could be manifesting your dreams and your goals? Every moment is a choice to go towards your dream or away from it. Please, don't settle for less than wonderful in your life. And don't give up 5 minutes before the miracle. It'll happen.